So free agency begins tonight or this evening or this afternoon, however you wanted to dub it, at 5 p.m. Teams can start negotiating with free agents from other clubs, and then they have that stupid moratorium until Wednesday is the official start of the league year, and then your official moratorium ends on Monday. So that's when all the signings will become official. Hopefully no one will get barricaded in a room or a house by their teammates.
Dude, how long ago was that?
I don't
Now that
know.
I know, here's what happened. I know it was my birthday weekend. It was, so at the same time. And I was at some hotel eating hotel food, I think, and all of a sudden my phone's just buzzing like crazy.
Right.
I'm like, what is happening right now? And everybody's like, DeAndre Jordan is backed out. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then the chaos ensued.
So I can't remember where we were coming from, but I was on a plane back to DFW with Brandon. So we were also on vacation. And when we left, DeAndre Ayton was coming. Nope, DeAndre Jordan. There we go. Got it. Was coming.
You started, Alec.
I know.
I'm avenged.
That's what I get for running my mouth. Was coming to the Mavericks. And then when we landed, I turned my phone back on. He was no longer. And I was like, man, what a plane ride.
Yeah.
So for the Mavericks, a note that Alec has already brought us. Marcus Sasser, the Mavericks are currently the favorite to make a deal and trade for him. I could not imagine that will be super intensive. I kind of wonder if they're looking at picking up Brandon Williams, and maybe that's going to be part of the swap. But I would assume that would mean that Brandon Williams is going to be out the door, and you're going to keep Nembhard. You're going to bring up Marcus Sasser as another backup point guard. That the outlay for that is not going to be very high. He's in the final year of his rookie deal on a $5.2 million cap hit.
All right, when you look at this team right now, Kevin, what's the biggest need for you?
He needs shooting.
Shooting, because
he does not necessarily fit that bill. He has good three-point numbers in theory, but he's not a real volume guy. Like, he'll shoot 3 a game, essentially. And so his percentage is solid. It's better than solid. It's 38.5%. Last year it was above 40%, but he only shoots about 3 per game. But then again, if he's strictly going to be a backup or like pseudo third-tier point guard, you're probably not going to have that many opportunities for him to shoot more than 3 a game.
Now, and I don't really know this yet with what Dusty May wants to bring. Did Michigan play, and will he be able to transition the same kind of style they played there to the NBA, or is he like, no, the NBA is a different game, and we're going to have to adjust to that? What did it feel like they were a big three-point shooting team, or they were just very physical inside the perimeter?
I immediately think about the bigs and the physicality, but to be fair, I don't remember offhand if they were a heavy three-point shooting team. I would have to go look that up, but
what Jalen Brunson just accomplished was using the spacing to get to the basket the way he wanted to, but also they had some physicality to go along with their bigs.
And you are not currently constructed to be able to be a three-point shooting team. Now, I'm not saying that in the next week you can't overhaul that, but just as it sits right now, you cannot be a three-point shooting team.
Now, with with Luka, there was Luka's going to have the ball, and then it'll eventually dish to guy to shoot the 3.
Right.
Or he'll finish and he'll shoot his 3, whatever it was. With Cooper, when does he get the ball? It's going to be in Kyrie's hands more, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you can still occasionally run Coop up at the point, but I would use that in isolated situations. But the other thing is Kyrie is better at getting rid of the ball earlier in the shot clock than Luka's going to be. I mean, because Luka will keep the ball longer on the shot clock than just about anybody. He's an awesome player.
Because he thinks I'm going to figure you out at some point. I'm going to grind you down to nothing and then figure out and then disperse you.
Yeah, so I don't mean that as a knock whatsoever, but I think Kyrie is significantly more likely to distribute the ball earlier, and that is one of the good things about having Cooper Flagg is you can have him run the offense as well as like your second tier once you get across the midcourt line or at the top of the key or however you want to set up your offense.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'm really there are a lot of things I'm excited about for the future of this team. But obviously, we still don't know what the complete structure is going to look like.
Now, here's what you have to work with. You are way below the luxury tax first apron and second apron. Those numbers are 40, 46, and 59 million respectively. So you have a little bit of money. I'm not saying that means you can go out and spend $59 million, but you do have some money available. Also, to go along with that, you have the non-tax mid-level exception, which is about $15 million. That's a number to keep an eye out on, because supposedly that's what the Warriors are hoping can entice LeBron James to come to their team at $15 million. Oh, that's a real thing. Up until last night, when the Warriors re-signed KP for 2 years, $40 million, and they gave him a player option in the second year. How the hell does that work? I really thought they were going to go after Anthony Davis, too. I thought they were going to go for Steph, Draymond, AD, and LeBron, because the whole reason Draymond opted out is to give them some financial flexibility. I thought to go after Anthony Davis, and they're like, we're taking KP, and you're like, that's, they might play about the same amount of time. But yeah,
So Lindor might not play. I know the other day he was like, hey, look, I know Steve Kerr doesn't like to play rookies. This team's butt.
I mean, that's a direct quote. They still will have an opportunity for some big usage for sure. By the way, if LeBron is not back with the Lakers, which, man, it's looking more and more as though that won't be the case, the Warriors are heavy favorites to pick him up. And I would be willing to bet that is what they're hoping they will accomplish. You have the biannual exception, which is $5.5 million. And then you have a couple of trade exceptions if people are looking to unload some money. One of only 2.8, but one of $20.8 million. And that's always the dream, right? A player that you think could be totally usable that can slide into that exception that another team's like, I'm so tired of this guy.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what the Trailblazers are hoping on when they made the trade for, not much for Ja Morant. In case you were curious how low Ja Morant's stock has fallen, he got traded for Chris Murray, who doesn't really play, and Jeremy Grant, Jeremy Grant is a solid enough player, but what are we, 3-4 years removed from thinking, is Ja Morant going to be one of the next faces of the league? But he has fallen off a freaking cliff.
One of the things we were concerned about, now I don't know how much of what's happened off the court has affected this, but one of the things we were concerned about early in his career was the physical way that he played. Like he took a beating on his body.
For sure.
And we were like, it was Derrick Rose. I was talking about him a lot, but the way he jumped, the way he dunked, the way he played the game at that size, I was a little concerned about him. Again, I don't know how much of the off-court stuff has affected his play on the court, but I thought the game was a lot of fun whenever he was at his best.
Agreed. And that covers up the fact that he can't shoot.
Yeah.
For somebody in the NBA, Ja Morant cannot shoot the basketball, especially for somebody his size. Now, that was covered up. You look at his third and fourth year. Yeah, third and fourth year in the league. He could get to the basket. And even in that third year, it looked like he might be able to become a competent three-point shooter. Well, guess what? That never happened. And now you wonder if whether it's that physicality you talked about or whatever else, will that impact his athletic ability to just get to the basket? Now, it certainly did this last year, but he didn't play a whole lot, and there was all kinds of problems. So I don't know if you're going to focus in on just that. But Ja Morant cannot shoot. And
Dame can, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I wonder if you're to the point where if you can't run at all on athleticism and you can't shoot, what is that really left you with?
You got to figure you have to evolve. Like that's the only other option. Now, the other thing that I wonder is when you get traded for nothing after being one of those dudes that you thought was the face, do you take that as an ego kick and say that's a motivator, or does it just deteriorate you? And I don't know what kind of mental fortitude Ja Morant has.
I really don't either, because I would have thought when the league, he seemed to have convinced himself that the league was conspiring against him, right? Mm-hmm. And I would have thought that the comeback after that would have been, I'm going to show every single one of you. Didn't happen at all. Now, is this going to be a different deal? I wish I could tell you, Corey. I honestly have no idea how that is going to play out. Jonathan Kuminga is a free agent after the Hawks declined his option, so that didn't really work out the way he thought it was going to. And then keep an eye out on Jalen Duren. I really don't know what's going to happen with this because he looked like the guy that was going to ride alongside Cade Cunningham. And they take the number 1 seed, ready to make some playoff noise, all of that good stuff. And then Duren is an absolute no-show in the playoffs. He was terrible in the playoffs. And so supposedly the gap between the contracts, some will say the Pistons want 25 and he wants 40 per year, is so sizable that they gave him the opportunity to go talk with other teams, whether it's the Kings. I've heard some buzz, I think, about the Lakers to go and try to structure a sign and trade because they're so far apart. And we're like 2 or 3 months removed from this is the future of him and Cade. Mm-hmm. And it turned so hard and it went so bad for them that they're like, all right, see ya.
Well,
it's crazy.
Is that another thing, too, where they have told you to go find that if you can't actually find one? Very George,
kind of Pickens.
Yeah, it's very George Pickens. Yeah. Do you go, well, I gotta figure it out here? Or do you just say, no, this isn't going to work? Good luck to him on that one, though. I thought the turn was going to be really good for him.
Yeah, personally, I would not be interested in the idea. Well, at $40 million, the idea that he wants $40 million is absurd. And I just want to go back to Brandon Williams and see how y'all feel about this. I am just telling you how I think it's going to play out for the Mavs. I like Brandon Williams a lot. We had him on the show. He was lovely.
A couple times. He was great.
Yeah, he was great to talk to. The issue there is he's an unrestricted free agent, and I wonder if the Mavericks look at the number that's already locked in for Sasser, the potential for him to be a restricted free agent after the year, and that is of interest to them. Whereas Brandon Williams, he definitely upped his stock in the league. I wonder if, because, they'll tell you can't start offering deals until 5 p.m. tonight. Oh, I don't believe that whatsoever. So I wonder if Brandon Williams or his team or whatever has already been like, hey, we're being offered about 3 for 24. Or I don't know. I'm just making that number up. And I wonder if the Mavs are like, oh, really? Yeah, we're not really in a position where we want to do that. And that would be my guess.
Yeah, there are a couple of moves that they still have to make in order to have that kind of flexibility in a lot of different areas. And again, with Isai and what the Schmitz and Dusty May want to do, this thing, he might just be a left out piece. I know.
It's possible.
Jason Kidd and company loved him and gave him the freedom to run the offense the way he did. But a lot of times when a new coach comes in, they want their guys around and they want dudes that they're familiar with. So that could be the case for him.
And then from the 214, I wish there was some way that Luka would ask out from the Lakers. Keep an eye out on what they do this offseason because Windhorst was talking about this was the pitch to Luka and his team. This is the offseason, especially when or if they move on from LeBron, that they'll have a little bit of money to do some stuff. So if
he basically said, or his team said, build me a team that I can win with.
And if that doesn't happen this offseason, this is the time for them to have it. And I'm not going to kill anybody's Luka dream of him coming back to the Mavericks in 2028, even if I don't necessarily think that's how it's going to play out.
Would you like it?
Hell yeah, I would.
You would be okay with it.
Can you imagine Luka operating with Cooper Flag? Holy moly.
So Cooper gets the ball with like 3 seconds left every time.
That's fine. He'll figure it out. We're the K&C Masterpiece right here on a 105.3 The Fan. Harrison Barnes also signed a 1-year, $8 million deal to stay with the Spurs.
Good for him.